So this is basement on Oregon. I guess this is pretty standard. You get a reinforcement right, rotate your left. You're gonna have a smoke ideally playing in here if they're not banned. They're just gonna play close, play aggressive, stall for time with their smokes. Last smoke, you come over here, you back up, you reinforce once the smokes are down. Obviously, you're gonna have someone helping you from electrical, assuming the hatch isn't popped. If the hatch gets popped, obviously you have to back up. You can even have someone extending into pillar DMR. This goes kind of crazy, just holding the pixel like that. Is really good. So you have the option for this. Your DMR can also play freezer side and just come over to help and just stall for time in freezer. They should be able to go all the way over into freezer. They should be able to go back over here. They have a lot of options. You have one there, and then you have your blue bunker play over here, and then you're gonna have a main stairs player stalling for time. Assuming that hatch is good and this is good and no one's just playing vert on you, you get aggressive with mute shotgun. You can put a mute chamber somewhere on the door here so they can't send drones down on you first. They have to come over here physically and shoot the mute chamber first, and then they can get this open, and then they can start working you. So mute is very nice for this. Also, if you're playing aggressive and someone like a buck just opens above you, just being able to C4 really quick while you run away is really nice. Maybe you get the kill. Even if you don't, they'll have to run far enough away that you can get down the stairs for free. So I recommend playing mute for that. Once you get down the stairs, if this hatch is still here, just hold them at the stairs. You're still totally safe. If the hatch is open, back up. You can play in laundry. You can back up, play supply closet. You can even tuck if your pillars is good and it's like a main take, which most of the time that'll never happen, but you could tuck in here. This is kind of dangerous because, again, pillar, but if you're like very confident that people are holding pillar, that is where I would sit. So I guess a little recap. Your smoke is going to be there. Your meat's going to be on the main stairs. You're going to have some sort of DMR and charge up all the way into freezer, all the way over into pillar if they're really aggressive. And then your last person that you're going to send downstairs is going to be like a Melusi. Melusi's really good here just because you can put them like right behind these things in freezer to slow the freezer walk. Obviously, you get the audio. Another really good Melusi is actually right here. It is way harder to shoot this than you would think. Unless they're to get the hatch first and then get the thing off of it. But if they're just walking down main and like they're funneled through that doorway and there's Melusi there and you're holding this, it's like they don't really get any chance to actually shoot the Melusi there. Another good one would be just like on here, so you know if they're actually in and going for a default plant, that'd be going off first. Or you could even just put it in the middle here. I'll probably get cleared pretty quickly once they take control of everything, but you at least know once they're pushing electrical. So I'd get like one here. You know, one at the bottom of the main stairs. You could either double stack freezer or you could single stack. I'd probably single. Just put it right on the side of that. So if they push up, because most of the time they'll push across and play for cover. Okay, I usually like to backstab freezer, so I'm usually the one doing this, but I like to walk down. I kind of just walk, and then I go here. And this is where I like to sit for a bit and wait for my team to get into position while I'm just lurking here. Maybe I crouch and I push up and I get close just so I can kind of get ready to swing deep. But again, if you have to lose you there, then you will be totally fine. Your last person is going to be your runner. So Vigil is number one. I would recommend it. They're playing to die. I give you a lot of rotates that you can mess around with the impacts. One thing for sure is that hatch should be open so that if they go up into the meeting, then you can contest it. You can also scare a lot of people from pushing blue. They'll be like, we have to work this guy upstairs. If you create this, even if you never peek through it, people are going to see it. They're going to get scared. It's going to stall for time. And then they're going to be like, yeah, should we clear this guy? Should we commit? They're going to have to make a choice. So these are good to make. I would recommend Boss G just so you could actually like make some of the stuff yourself when you have impacts. So I'd start upstairs. You could play an attic. You can contest all of this. You could fall off. You can come over here and drop the kitchen hatch once you stall for time up top, and then you can either go over here to get an aggressive flank on like main or something. You could go down over there to get an aggressive flank on blue if they kind of ignore you and hit sight. Or obviously if you get this rotate here, you get to white. So if you make it into and drop here, you have a lot of options to go on where you can go, where you can take your gunfights. You can sandwich a lot of people if you manage to stay late into the round and they hit without you. So That's what I would do. Another thing is if they do like a straight blue push and they're sending Monty, they have the Grims, the Capitaus, the Habanas, and they're just muscling their way through. You could drop this hatch. Obviously be careful and then just run over here. And then having Boss G on backstairs kind of rips. You get the footholds here, you could hold the pixel on the door. You could even make it across the pillar and then kind of back inside safe. So that is kind of like the idea of who I'd have here. Obviously, if me is taken, you're getting the Mira. You're gonna put one on this door to contest the main. And a Mira right here. I think I said if Mira is taken, but if Mira isn't banned, you take Mira. You're gonna put them there and over there. So as you drop, you could drop your ACOG player because the ACOG player's job is kind of play aggressive. Since you have the Miras, you can play aggressive. Some good options would be like a Jaeger to stack on this so they don't get some util in. So you have your smoke, your mute, you have like an Aruni, a vigil upstairs, and then your last could be Cage for hatches, or you could take like the Jaeger yeses, or like a Warden is really good here. I guess you could flex any of those options. The thing with Organ is it could like always get set up different. It's not really standard. This is just always what I run. This is how it ends up most of the time. Whenever I'm queued, it makes the most sense. Again, you have pocket one reinforcement to just back up and reinforce. I think the biggest thing that probably gets missed is getting the freezer hatch, which isn't too important. It just allows you to like start over here and contest and then just slowly back up. Like I just have to fight you through it. That's all it does. It is nice to have. And then this reinforcement up here, so your mute can get a little aggressive. Again, start pushed up. They have to spend time either opening this wall and have to open the ceiling, and they fall back and they're like, oh, now what? Now we have to get the hatch. So then they have to get the hatch, and then your mute falls back even more, and they can kind of just tuck up for the plant, or they could go and distribute to like wherever they're needed. So I guess the biggest thing is like filling in the gaps. Like if you have someone playing E-Box and you have someone playing blue and you have someone freezer side and you have someone bottom main, and let's say your freezer person gets picked, then I think you have to take your E-Box player and you have to go position them kind of inside here to contest this. They have to go over, maybe they have to fight, maybe they'll have to be worried about this and hold it from back here, but they have to somewhat fill the position. If someone gets picked, your visuals should be trying to get back to site ASAP. They've over and stayed there, welcome up top. If there's ever a position where we're getting picked down here, if they pick this guy, obviously the E-Box player shouldn't stay here too long because he's next. This is open. It's like you got to get out of there. If they pick that main stairs guy, then either E-Box or your blue bunker player, probably your E-Box will have to rotate and then just come play this to defend the back. Smoke can stall for the last little bit of time that it can, and then get the reinforcement off. So I mean, just fill the gaps. That's what you should be looking to do on defense always. Just position yourself to help your team the best way possible. Melusi, again, you have your Melusi. If you're not a Melusi, you take like a Jaeger. So you have the Melusi or a Jaeger, and then you're going to have your Roamer, which is the best. And then you're going to have like your Rooney DMR, your Tube DMR, Smoke, or a Mute, or both for the stairs. Pretty much whatever you want to do, whatever ops you want to bring to hold down your designated area can be nice. Melusi specifically lets you help in a lot of areas, so that's why I recommend Melusi, but pretty much just hold freezer, hold main, hold blue, hold E-Box. Try and contest pillars. This is like the hardest spot to like actually like contest, but if you DMR, you can DMR up there, contest a little bit, you can come over here. But that is what I would do for basement.